After the patriarchs, the Old Testament tells about Israel's sojourn in Egypt, the Exodus, and the giving of the law at Mount Sinai. Yonder in the distance is Jebel Musa, the mountain of Moses, for 2,000 years believed to be Mount Sinai. The Sinai is a barren desert. The Bible calls it the great and terrible wilderness, with fiery scorpions and thirsty ground where there was no water. With rainfall of 2 or 3 inches a year, only a few plants can grow. Moses led the people of Israel to Mount Sinai, and there he met God and received the law. St. Catherine's Monastery is at the base of Mount Sinai, with Mount Jethro, named for Moses' father-in-law, in the distance. St. Catherine's Monastery was built by the Emperor Justinian in the 6th century. It's now 1,400 years old and has never been attacked or destroyed. The church in the monastery is one of the oldest in the Christian world. The monks believe that this vine growing out from under the church is the burning bush where God spoke to Moses. The monastery has a priceless collection of art and manuscripts, like this 7th century painting of Peter and this mosaic of Moses in the burning bush. The charnel house is a pretty whitewashed building, but inside are the skulls and bones of hundreds of monks who have died at the monastery across the centuries. There's a large plain near the monastery, perhaps where Israel encamped for a year. Let's spend the night at the monastery and then climb Mount Sinai. Because of the desert heat, we leave long before dawn, and as the first light appears, we're near the summit. Mount Sinai is 7,500 feet high, and from the summit we view the barren peaks around us. Despite the blistering heat of the desert, there's a lonely grandeur about the Sinai. It was somewhere on one of these rocky mountains that God said, "I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." And God made a covenant with Israel and gave them the tables of stone and the law. There's a flight of steps, nearly 4,000 of them, back down to the monastery. These steps have been built by the monks across the ages as works of penance for their sins. It's a long, strenuous climb down, and when the monastery finally appears, it's a happy sight. Who knows? Perhaps we have been to the very mountain where Moses met God and came back down to the people with the laws of God written on tables of stone.